Hi everyone. Today I really want to talk about really what's going on and been going on lately in our society, and um, something that I've noticed, and I can't hang anymore, um, is really the fear models and fear that's being impacted and just thrown on people, whether it's with, 2012, December 21st, excuse me, I'm a little sick, December 21st, or occultism, New World Order, Illuminati, like, relax, people, relax, take a deep breath and center yourself, because fear leads out of ignorance, and fear, you start vibrating on a lower frequency, and you're putting your thought process from one thing to just this subjective, fear-based, chaotic state of mind. And you're no good when you're like that. Nobody's any good. Like, how we get so stressed, we can't, we think about, well, oh my God, 2012 is coming. Like, how am I going to protect my family? What am I going to do? Like, all these doomsday, like, survivalists and, just, oh my God, on YouTube. I can't even go on. I love you guys. But it's like, it's one thing after another. It's like, New World Order this, New World Order that, Illuminati, FEMA camps, um, end of days, revelations, the fourth scroll has been broken by the horsemen. Like, relax, like I was saying before. Because, honestly, um, we don't know what's going to happen. Tomorrow we could walk outside and a brick can fall on our head and boom, we're done. And it's not living in that takes away from beauty of the moment. Living in the past and living in the future, you cannot enjoy the present. Eckhart Tolle talks about that a lot, and so many just gurus and masters talk about, no, you need to be in the present moment. You need to think about the now. You know, that doesn't mean like don't educate yourself, like don't learn basic survival skills. Like, I mean, that's something everybody should know, like how to grow our own food, how to purify our own water, how to build a little camp, how to build a fire, and holistic medicine, because a lot of that, one, it's better for you. It's the stuff that you can get in stores. It doesn't have, like, if you grow your own food, you don't have to worry about GMOs unless you buy your seeds from Monsanto. Well, then you would have to. But, purification of water, you can purify your water to get as much fluoride as you can out. So that way, it won't calcify you as much, and especially your pineal gland, um, so you can have like a deeper connection, and you know, and to the people that like don't understand the cult, one, and I know I'm getting kind of off topic, I'm like jumping back and forth, but if you really think about it, it's intertwined because there's such a stigma and fear of both, because when people don't know a lot about the cult, and most people, I'm not saying all, they only see what is presented on YouTube, from perceptions that they gather around from different people. And sorry, the light is messed up. I know I need a new light. People's perceptions and their viewpoints. If you actually go and like really study and really like dig deep, so it's kind of like you're feeling the unknown because you're not really educating yourself. You're seeing it from a subjective, relative way. And the more objective we are, the more open-minded we are, the more we learn. And that way, we can make a clear decision. You know, one, occult means hidden from the eye. That is the correct term. If you don't believe me, go Google it. It's on Wikipedia. Um, you know, it's yoga, Buddhism, um, holistic medicine, anything that isn't like just out there in mainstream can be considered a cult. Okay, a lot of people are just like it's satanic. Well, I mean, there's a part of it that yes, Satanism is one way of thinking that is part of what you consider a cult. And Satanism derives from Satan, Saturn. Saturn represents, is the planet that aligns to the physical realm of existence, which kind of is the physical plane where the ego resides. Satanism is ego worship. It's self worship. Okay, it's just worshiping on this plane of existence, not on a higher plane. Okay, on Malkuth, which is from the Tree of Life, from the Kabbalah or the Kabbalah. So it's just really Satanism is not the worship of this little red devil. You know, it's about worship of self and putting yourself and your physical needs before anything else. And you know, Satanism took on the cross, upside down cross. They also took Baphomet, which is Pan, which also represents the devil card, which also represents Capricorn, and really what, and I'm going to explain this to you guys, so you know, and you have more of an objective way of maybe looking at it, maybe you can do more research, is that Pan, the devil card, Capricorn, really it was about duality, male and the female, the masculine and the feminine energies coming together, the devil card. If you look at it, it's devil and there's a man and a female and male, and like kind of representing of the hermaphrodite, joining of the masculine and feminine energies. And Pan was a protector, actually, in the underworld, and also it's representative of the ram as well. And the ram is very big in mythology as well. So, I mean, there's so many different ways to look at things. And if you only see it as like, oh my god, the cult, satanic. Well, to be honest with you, most occult practices are about bettering yourself and knowing yourself and embracing who you are as a spiritual, as the formless, as well as the form, so you can be a better person on this form. It's really knowledge of your psyche. It has a lot to do with psychology. Okay, a good person to read, and I would recommend, and he's kind of a hard read, and I have to like go like Google words and like things like that from reading him, is Carl Jung. Carl Jung is amazing with his analogies and the way he depicts the human psyche. Also, a great person, Eckhart Tolle. I know a lot of people have different views on Eckhart Tolle, but when it comes down to the way he analyzes it and the way he articulates the ego and the self and the pain body is very good. I recommend watching his lecture on transformation from fear into peace, inner peace. And that's what Buddha was talking about, the end of suffering. And it's all the art of mental transmutation, which is the art of inner alchemy. Um, Almost like the philosopher's stone. Everybody has this misconception of alchemy and alchemists. It's not turning lead into gold. And those alchemists that really, try to do that, that's really not what it's about. It's about finding your quintessence. It's about finding your path, your true will, your true calling, and doing that and giving back to the world, and teaching others, whatever it is, whatever you're good at, because that's the meaning of life, and being able to create a beautiful world, not only for yourself, but for other people. Because once you really know yourself and who you are, and your good side and your bad side, your subconscious and your conscious, you'll be able to give so much more of who you are as yourself. And what a great thing to know yourself, and know your triggers, know your subconscious, and deal with your demons, and deal with your angels, because we manifest that, we create that on an external level all the time. Stress, chaos, you know, um, these things, hate, you know, ignorance, fear, anger, like we all live out of those. Why? And it's really getting to know yourself and being like, well, why do I do this? And breaking out of that pattern. Terrence McKenna talks about that, how we all have this life pattern, okay? And well, we're like, why do we attract such loser guys? Well, why do you? You know, why does this happen to me? What is that? And that's when it's like, okay, well, you can look at it two ways. You can be like, oh, well, what's meant to be is gonna be, and that's how it's supposed to be, and not admit any wrong doing it, and just have a justification of it, and just justify your actions because it was just meant to be like that, and that's how it was meant to work out. No, there's a thing. It's called cause and effect. Every action has a reaction, right? We all know that. That's kind of a duck. So it's kind of like really looking at things and being like, why do I fear the occult? Why do I fear 2012? Why do I fear? Why am I living out of this fear or anger or hatred? It all stems from ignorance. It all stems from lack of knowledge, lack of the unknown, of not knowing, and or just having a very closed-minded, um, subjective viewpoint, that some people do have, and that's who they are, and it's like, do you want to be that person that is just like, well, I believe this because, this person told me so, or, this book told me so. No, Buddha said, and one of my favorite quotes about Buddha is, if it doesn't resonate with you, if it doesn't connect with you, what I say, then don't believe it. You know, um, that's that's the gist of the quote. It's like, don't believe what I say if there's no connection to you. That it doesn't make you have that feeling. You know, question, be objective, ask why. Don't don't just sit there and be like, oh well, because I heard about the Illuminati and it was in a Lady Gaga video and they were like going like this, like, stop, educate yourself, read, stop watching this YouTube nonsense, take a book, You know, we get so distracted by TV and media and our Facebook and our YouTube and the, the internet. And don't get me wrong, the internet's a great way of learning, and it's open software. And there's a lot of things I've gotten, but you have to be able to differentiate the crap with like things that are actually like, you know, gonna like make you grow. You know, watching a bunch of doomsday movies or fear moguls that are gonna scare the shit out of you. How is that gonna help you? How is watching something about, you know, well, the Bilderberger group and the Illuminati and the Freemasons are just like out to get us, and we're going to be in this new world order and the camp and the Georgia Guidestones and the chemtrails. It's like, holy crap. Okay, listen. There's always truth in everything because everything's a half truth. Okay, there's a duality on this plane of existence that will always be. If you look at the yin and the yang, it's how there's always light and there's always the dark. Now, when you come to the understanding that there is no duality, then you will really understand. I know that's a paradox, but if you do research, if you meditate, pray, do whatever to make yourself at peace, you'll realize that, you know, we are the ones that divide ourselves. We always have. And so looking at yourself and knowing, and like I was saying with the Illuminati and the Bilderberger, there's always um, a duality. And there's people that are amazing people. And there's people that are just downright shitty and worship the ego and worship the self, and they don't know themselves. And they have very subjective, controlling, this is what I want, and this is how it's going to get done. Well, those people lack a higher connection. They might know and master some magic or know some of the cult or be masters of the cult. And I don't even want to say the cult because it's Satan. It's Satanism. It's worship of self. It's not Luciferianism. That's completely different than Satanism. So these people are of the ego, you know, and there's some people like that. There's people like that they don't even know they're worshiping their ego because they live in an illusion, you know, of, well, I need this, I need that, I need to wear these clothes, I need to look like this. And we all have that, but it's being aware of it and embracing it and accepting that's part of you right now. And learning, because when I talk about embracing, I'm not saying, oh yeah, go live out of your ego and be a piece of shit. No, that's completely not what I'm saying. It's acknowledging it and seeing why you work the way that you work. So you can beat the life pattern that we create for ourselves, that circle that we cannot break, it seems at times. You know, that is how we evolve. That's how we reach higher states of consciousness. That's how we open doors when there were walls prior. You know, and we all go through changes. We all have fears. We all have insecurities. But it's almost taking a self inventory and really looking in the mirror and being like, taking skeletons out of the closet and being real with yourself instead of hiding. And or even like therapy. Be therapeutic with you. Be honest with you because you can do it. Everybody can do it. It's if we choose to do it, because it's the scariest shit that we will have to go through, and it's uncomfortable. Who wants to look in the monster in the eyes? Who wants to remember all the bad things that we've done, or things that we felt guilty for, or whatever it was that it affected you, to keep on going in cycles, whether that's you being a subjective person, or um, living in a very I'm just gonna do what I'm told because I'm told this, you know, um, anything, anything that distracts us from our true selves. And Franz Bardone, uh, he wrote Initiation into Hermetics. And I think I forgot to tell you guys, I'm sorry. Hermetics, it's a study of Hermes Trismegistus. And Hermes, he goes Hermes or Thoth or, the Triskate, or Thoth the Atlantean, um, or Mercury. Um, he was a messenger of the gods. He was a protector of men and of the land of Chem. And these were his teachings, basically the teachings of modern day chemistry, and that's really how chemistry came about. And if you look in the, you notice, and this is occult symbolism that I'll explain to you guys. The caduceus, it's the staff with the two serpents wrapped around it. It's medical staff. That is the staff of Hermes Trismegistus, and it represents the two serpents representing the masculine and the feminine energy, and of the snake going up. So it represents the Kundalini energies, you know, um, and it's the awakening, and it goes through the chakras, and the chakras, if you guys don't know, those are the 7 energy points within our body. And they all represent different things and different awarenesses about ourselves, and they cater to different body parts. But everything, like, when I was talking about Franz Bardone, back to what I was saying in the first place, I'm sorry. He wrote Initiation into Hermetics, and he was talking about the two sides. You have to know both. So, there's the white pillar and the black pillar, and you'll see that in Freemasonry. And let me explain to you what that means real quick. It's the black pillar, okay, is representative of severity and the female, okay, and then the white is mercy, and it represents the masculine. And there's a gray pillar, which is the middle pillar, and that represents the combination of both, which is Doth on the Tree of Life, which represents knowledge, because it goes to Nod, Doth, and then Kokum. And it's understanding, knowledge, and wisdom. And so you can't just go on one side. You have to play both pillars. You have to know both your light and your dark side. And the dark, what is meant by dark and what is meant by light, it's all of you. All of you. And, go drink and see what your limit is. See how much you can drink. Fast. Fast for as long as you can. See how much you can take. And it's going and seeing both sides of you. So then you can do a mental evaluation and see how you feel, when you fasted for a week, or abstained from sex, or, you know, meditated every day, or didn't live in the illusion. And then with the other side, it was like drink as much as you can, go have sex, like do whatever you need to do to figure out more about you. But you can't do that on a consistent basis. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, you have to know both sides of you. And that's really what that exercise is for. And then coming back, and how maybe that will help open your eyes to, oh, wait, well, I felt like this, and I experienced this, and, I didn't drink, and then that's how I felt when I got completely trash, because even Buddha, me and my friend were talking about this tonight, even Buddha, like, on his deathbed, he was like, I did this wrong. And a lot of, some Buddhists don't talk about it, some Buddhists do. I mean, it just really depends. It's a story, so take it as you will. But he was talking about, like, I should have experienced everything that I could, and I'm not really a Buddha. Because both, I think, at least my perception in life is about experiencing everything that you can possibly experience. The good, the bad, the beautiful, the scary, and facing it head on. Because then you'll know yourself. Then you'll be able to help others when they were at the same spot you were. You'll see things in a different light. You'll be at peace. You won't be scared. You'll appreciate. You'll be calm. Your will will be aligned. You won't feel lost. You won't have that consistent stress on you that we have all the time. You'll feel like a huge weight is lifted off of you. That's the most beautiful thing. It's returning to being a human again. It's about humility, compassion, love. So take this time, and if you don't understand the occult, read about it. A perfect book would be The Kabbalion by the Three Initiates. It's a 90-page book. It articulates the Hermetic principles and the universal principles. This is a new AEON. It's time to educate people. It's time to show people there's nothing to be scared of when it comes to the cult. That it's only a word, and that word has a stigma. We shouldn't even use that word anymore. Words and language are binding, very binding, because we automatically have a reactive perception on it. When some people hear the word, Christian or Muslim, or everybody has this reactive behavior, depending on how they were raised and taught and their perception, they're like, whoa. It's stigmatized. We must be objective. We must educate ourselves. We must break this barrier of ignorance, because we're all human. We're all in this together. Why take away from such a beautiful, amazing connection that we have? We don't need to do that anymore. It's a different time. It's a different AEON. Time to come together. It's time to drop the duality. It's time to drop the gender. It's time to drop classifications. It's time to drop all things that bind us from really being free, from really caring, from really loving, from really growing. So don't buy into the fear on YouTube or on TV about these doomsday prophecies or Planet X and solar flares and the Illuminati. The Illuminati were scientists in 1776 that went against the church, and they were proclaimed as heretics. They were called the illumined ones, illumined with light. They wanted to bring science and religion together and show how it was intertwined, but at that time, the church was going through a very interesting time itself. And that's when the church wasn't what the churches right now. They were like literally lighting people on fire, and by no means was I trying to be ignorant when I say that, but it is the truth. you know, um, it's being understanding of everybody's viewpoints and their belief system, and not shoving it down each other's throats. And, because you don't understand something, learn, study. I study Buddhism, Christianity, Gnosticism, Hinduism, um, the Kabbalah, the Kabbalah, like as much as I possibly can to educate myself from neuroscience to psychology to, um, different forms, meditation, yoga, just take things for what they are. Don't feed into it. Not even take what you listen from me in my half an hour rant and take what you will from it, And all I wish you to do is, maybe, just maybe, be like, oh wow, maybe I have been kind of subjective with that. Maybe I was kind of like, I really don't even know what that is. I just heard, it's satanic, and that's what, the pentagram means. Research that stuff. Research it. Go to hermetics.org. You know, it's, and I relate a lot to hermetics, but, you know, Crowley, the Golden Dawn. You can look up Israel Regardie, AEY, Dion Fortune, Alice Bailey, Madame Blavatsky. There's so many, um, or different yogis. Like, there's so much, Dr. William Westcott, like I said, Carl Jung. There's so many people that, you can read and get a lot of good information from. And I'm not saying everybody on YouTube's like bullshitting, like whatever, but you gotta understand, don't feed into it. A lot of it comes out of order, out of chaos, and it's profit. Dude, do you know how many people are buying generators and bunkers and, freaking themselves out? It's always good to be prepared. It's always good to learn how to, have a compass, read a map, and basic survival skills like I was talking about earlier. But these people are profiting and being like, ha ha ha, like, I just made 500,000 off this dude that, like, has a bunker, and I'm not making fun of it, and I'm not knocking it to a sense. It's just, there's so many other things that we could be doing that would help us progress. You know, like go to your local, community. See if people need food. You know, if you know how to teach something, if you're really good at something, start up a free school in your area. There's people that can't afford to go to school. Teach them. Teach them. You know how to ride a bike? That kid doesn't? Teach them. That's what Jesus did. That's what Buddha did. That's what all the masters and teachers have done. Is they taught their students. They never discriminated against people. They took everybody, and it's the most beautiful thing, and that's where we really need to get back to. Take the veil off. Take it off. There's no more need to be scared or angry or living in the future. Because right now, today, you're alive. Use that. Choice is yours. Always yours. Always will be yours. To do good and prosper. To help. To love. To be human. I think we sometimes forget what that really means. On that note, namaste. Thank you for listening to me, and may the light be with you always. May it guide you to your true quintessence. Thank you, and have a good night.